Hello everyone, welcome to Geology Concepts. Today we have with us Mr. Vaibhav Mishra, who scored All India Rank 1 in NET 2013 exam. Welcome Vaibhav sir. And he presently is in Rao Study Circle, Rao IAS, and he has been a senior educator there for quite a time. So today we are generally talking about how to prepare certain subjects, especially geology. So hello Vaibhav.
Hi, Harsh. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine. So in this talk we are trying to find out ki the students, those who are preparing for geology, right, they sometimes they feel that the syllabus is huge, sometimes they feel that the opportunities are very less. So how they can explore the subjects and how they can prepare for any exam they want. So
Yeah,
starting from net, as you qualified net with rank 1, so just help us through how did you do that.
yeah. Yeah, so I think you have asked two questions. First question deals with the kind of opportunities a person has at his or her disposal uh, when he or she opts for geology as a subject or a career option.
Mhm.
So I think what I have realized in past 6 to 7 years is that geology as an optional offers great opportunities, and it is very peculiar in the sense because first of all the subjects have their net, and you can pursue your research career as an academician utilizing your net or JRF.
Right.
By the way, which you teach really, really well geology. I have seen your lectures, I have your app, and I found I follow you on Instagram as well. And so I feel you provide a great teaching orientation in geology. That's great. I did not have such kind of guidance when I was preparing. So one is net JRF. Then there are a whole lot of opportunities in public service employments. For example, starting from UPSC, which conducts civil services examination. Then UPSC also conducts Indian Forest Service examination. These are all India services, and so in civil services examination, you just have to take one optional. That could be geology.
Right.
Then in Indian Forest Service optional, the problem with most students is coming from arts background, they have to take science background because all the optional in Indian Forest Service is they are all science. They're chemistry, mathematics, forestry, agriculture, geology. You cannot take geography, anthropology, pol science.
Yeah.
And so, if you are pursuing geology and combine that with forestry, which can be prepared in 30-40 days, two options can be easily prepared if you are preparing for Indian Forest Service. Then there are a lot of PSUs, all the public sector enterprises like ONGC and
Whole India.
NMDC,
Yeah.
yeah, whole India, they all offer positions of geophysicists, geologists, and I think these are grade A services, and they're equivalent to IS/IPS if you are interested in geology. So I think there are very less number of subjects in our country which offer such a wide variety of opportunities.
Right.
And so there is no reason to feel underconfident or hesitant about this optional. If you are interested in this optional, then you should go for it. You will get grade A service anywhere across the country, and you will get the best employment which the government of India has to offer. Then, of course, private sector has opportunities which everyone knows. Oil exploration companies like Schlumberger, Shale, they take people frequently. Many of my college juniors and colleagues are working there. So I think opportunities are a lot. It depends upon you how much capable you are on exhausting those opportunities.
Right. See, UPSC,
Yeah.
GSI has also introduced from last year. They have introduced GS prelims in uh,
Yes.
in geoscientist wala exam.
Yeah. Earlier it was not there. Yeah.
Yeah. So students are also confused because you have been teaching GS and the students who are preparing for UPSC civil services. Can you
Yes.
guide us how the students should go about it, about the GS prelims that they are? Because
Yes.
yeah, all the students that will give that exam will mostly be MSc students, right? So
Yes.
predominantly the paper has that science feel more than 50%, but there are also questions from history and all those other things. So yeah,
Yes. Yes. That's a good question. So coming from a science background, how to make this transition of arts and humanities?
yeah,
And so I think the idea should be to keep the number of resources to the minimum. So, for example, uh, For history, take the new NCRTs. There are class 12th NCRTs, themes 1, themes 2, themes 3. They deal with ancient, medieval, and modern respectively. Just, just don't go for any other resource. For similarly for political science, just prepare Lakshmikant, because when UPSC in its CDS exam, in its civil services exam, in its forestry exam, when it is focusing on Lakshmikant and NCRT, why would it not focus on NCRT and Lakshmikant in another exam?
Yeah.
Because after all, the idea is the same, to test the concepts. And so if the UPSC is asking questions from these sources in other exams, they are going to limit themselves to the same resources.
Yeah.
So just follow the book list of prelims, but dilute it a little bit. So for example, if people are reading one more book of Bipin Chandra for UPSC civil service examination, you can do away with that. It's just fine if you don't read that book. Just keep yourself limited to Lakshmikant. For geography, your geology optionals, so you don't need any geography, but you can just go through NCRT to find out some of the industrial aspect which is not covered in geology. So for example, geography has physical geography, human geography, and economic geography. So human and economic part is different, but physical geography is same as geology. You have oceanography, you have plate tectonics, you have oceanography, climate change, and everything. So that is common. But apart from that, whatever is extra can be read directly from NCRT. These are like 100 pages to very thin books. Just prepare those.
Right.
And if you prepare those, you will be able to answer sufficient number of questions to crack the prelim stage, at least the GS part. Rest is your own preparation of geology optional.
Now, also, because UPSC geoscientists introduced GS in prelims, and they anyways are preparing geology for the mains examination. Don't you think it is a good opportunity to also dive into the civil services examination of UPSC?
It's a great opportunity. It's indeed, I can see geology emerging as a great optional for main stage. And the reason behind that is it's more or less a static nature. So, for example, I would like to bring in political science or geography here. So, for example, if a person is preparing political science optional, the paper 1 consists of all the political philosophies and all the theories, and paper 2 is its application. So, a person going through, let's say, comparative politics or international relation will have to update his or her notes every day. So, for example, this emergence of Taliban as a state power in Afghanistan,
right,
cannot be explained by most of the theories, and so you will have to make notes on that because UPSC can ask questions. But on the other hand, geology, stratigraphy is not changing.
Right.
The basic core concepts of plate tectonics are not changing. Whatever Wegener has said about drift theory is not changing, and its flaws we know.
Right.
Right. Similarly, in oceanography, how salinity varies from one part of the ocean to another is more or less understood, right?
Yeah.
And unless and until you have some new mantle plume very recently in the last year, there is not much which is changing in geology. And so that is one of the advantages of geology, that once someone takes guidance from a teacher like you and you guide that person point in a syllabus point by point manner, more or less is prepared.
Yeah, there's no need to update it regularly.
There's no need to update it regularly. There are some points where students need to have conceptual clarity, for which they are likely to spend a lot of time on internet. But if there is a guide or a mentor available, they can reduce that time. So rather than investing that time on doing their personal research, they can contact some person and get those doubts cleared. And there are some issues I have felt in geology. There are certain areas which become very baffling for a lot of students. They spend a lot of time in understanding basic concepts like thermocline, or for example, as we go up in the atmosphere, why the temperature profile is like this,
right,
the way it is. And so they are not able to understand why. So those are the basic concepts which are not clearly also explained in the books as well. So, and those are the areas which actually discourage students in pursuing geology.
Yeah, but do you think it is a good, means it's a good thing to dive into this UPSC? Because you see, this UPSC civil services has this appearance that it's a very tough or something which only few can do. That is true, but because anyways the students in geology have to study the for mains examination in detail, right? What they fear is the mains examination of civil services that include GS and everything else. So how do you think, means can they make time and can they actually go forward with preparing civil services?
I think it totally depends upon the personal motivation and enthusiasm. So, for example, there are people who do not want to become civil servants but want to become geologists, right? So, for them, we should we understand that they have a much larger clarity. But I can say this for sure, and I can give this in writing, that all those people who are preparing sincerely for GSI examination, if they include 3 hours of extra study every day, they can easily crack civil services examination. Because in civil services examination, a major portion and major time goes into preparation of optional, and a lot of people fail because when the mains examination arrives, their optional is not prepared, because most of the students do a coaching for optional and then they forget about the optional. Once they clear the prelims examination, then they take up the optional, and there are just 3 months left. So that is not sufficient, which is not sufficient to prepare completely that optional. So if you're confident in geology, your 50% of your task is done.
Right.
Yes.
Also, if they look at the previous year questions, because many of the questions are very repetitive in nature, means, and there are a lot of options also in optional paper within the questions. So
Yes.
I think it's a good idea to also approach if you have that
Yes.
that feeling of
Correct.
being a civil
I
servant.
agree. I agree. If you solve last 5 years questions, 50% questions are going to be directly from that, or they will be like testing the same thing, but reframing of the question will be
Yeah, means in another way, right?
yeah, yeah, asking the same thing in a very different language. That's it.
Okay.
So if you have, yeah,
Now, one more question that many of the students feel, and they personally ask me also, is uh, how to manage time. This is a universal question that is asked mostly,
yeah,
but since you have been in the guiding a student those who are preparing for, let's say, the toughest exam, right? How do
yeah.
you will guide the student, because you have been in geology background also, means you have that feeling. So how do you say they to adjust their time for subjective answer type questions, like UPSC GSI, because they all have that knack of doing objective questions like for net.
Yes,
But once
yes,
they would go into this preparation of preparing for subjective answers, is there anything
yeah,
extra they have to put in?
yeah. So here I would like to say two things. First, a lot of people do the mistake of jumping into answer writing right when they start the preparation, without realizing the very fact that they do not have enough content to write that answer.
Right.
And what problem it creates is that it leads them to believe the it leads them to believe that they are not meant for this examination.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the first mistake which you should not commit. First, for example, if we are talking about, let's say, petrology. So in petrology, we have igneous and metamorphic petrology. Let's say you are referring to a Winter's book, which is very standard book. You are undergoing magmatic differentiation, and you understood the phase diagrams. You understood how, starting from olivine and going up to amphibold, what is the order. You prepared that along with the map. Now go back and see what UPSC has asked in GSI and in the civil services. Look at the question. You will find that still there are, if you can answer that question, then answer it. Not reading the phase diagram, do not commit the mistake of writing that answer, because then that will discourage you.
Right.
So don't start answer writing before gathering the full information, and move in a subject wise manner. in a topic wise manner. Prepare a topic, go to the previous year question, see what you have read is sufficient to uh, take you to that level. If not, then refer some more books or refer some teachers, update your notes, and then see if you are at that level. Once you are at that level, then write that answer.
Right.
So answer writing should be done post value enrichment rather than previously to that.
Right.
So that is one thing. Next, but that will not train you to write answer in a timely manner, because in UPSC the game of timing is very very important. So, for example, there are in GSI as well as in civil services examination, there are two parts to each paper, right? Part A and Part B, in which the first question is compulsory, and then you have to choose 8 questions. Each question has around 2 to 3 parts.
Yeah.
So, in total, an aspirant has to write 20 questions. 20 question has to be written in 180 minutes, 3 hours, which leaves us with 9 minutes for each answer. In 9 minutes, you have to read the question, understand the main demand of the question, and put your thoughts on paper. And then in 9 minutes, 10 seconds, you have to be at the next question.
Right.
Right. So when you start writing so the first mistake is starting to write answer before value enrichment, before the content is developed. The second problem is not observing the time taken by you to write that answer. Okay. So what people do is that they write very good answers, excellent answers, but if you go to our websites and if you see the toppers copies, they do not write the best answers, but they complete the paper.
Oh, yeah.
They write average answers, but they write now, even if you write direct content from Winter's book, the examiner is not going to give you more than 60% marks. But in writing that excellent answer, if you have left 4 questions, your maximum mark has come down to 200 rather than 250.
Right.
But a person who is writing average marks but getting only 50% marks will get her total is 250, right? And so she is going to get 10 more marks in every paper, which makes 40 more marks altogether, which is like a difference between top rank and going out of the final list. Right? So timing. So first is your content, second is your timing. And if you are not following any of those, you are doing a mistake. So I think when you have to make a transition from objective kind of scientific mode of testing to humanities mode of testing, which is the written culture, first go back to the basics, look at the syllabus, prepare your own notes, then look at the previous year question, try to attempt that, get it evaluated from a mentor like you, and understand what more needs to be done. Take a feedback.
Okay.
Depending upon that feedback,
preparing your own notes, how important is that?
For an exam which is totally completely written, I think there are very few people who can crack this without making their own. I've seen very few people who did not make their own notes and still cracked it. I think, because when you make your own notes, you make it a habit of writing. First, your habit of answer writing is developed. Then when you revise those notes, you tend to shorten them.
Right.
So,
concise.
When UPSC conciseness. So when UPSC asks you to put your answer in 150 words, we also know that the text which we are going to write is actually given in book in 500 words or maybe 1000 words, right? But that has to be put in 150 words. So if you do not have the habit of notes making,
right,
which is like making it concise after every revision, how are you going to put those same notes in 150 words in actual examination? So a lot of people do not make any notes. They just keep on reading the book, making short notes, or just beside making chits or something like that. But I don't think that is a very sure shot way of selection. The best possible bet is on everyday reading and writing, making your own notes.
Right. So one more thing, Vaibhav sir, is that there are a lot of books for every topic, right? So how do one go about selecting these books? And because you see, you ask everyone, they will suggest some book, and you
Yeah,
cannot finish all the books. It's virtually impossible, right? So
correct.
how do you manage that?
Yeah. So I think when we want to prepare for an examination like GSI and UPSC and NET-JRF, I think people commit a mistake of reading books, but we should actually focus on the syllabus and then go to the books.
Right.
Because, yeah, so what they do is that they think that this whole book is important. No, look at the UPSC syllabus. I have not found a single book which is 100% relevant for GSI because the syllabus is very well defined. So, for example, if stratigraphy of these places are given, you just have to prepare the stratigraphy of those region and those era, right? Similarly, if petrology is given, you don't have to prepare the petrology from winters because then it will talk about Canadian Shield as well,
Right.
which will not be asked in UPSC.
Yeah.
So look at the syllabus and then prepare those topics from the books. And as far as the books are concerned, I looked at your YouTube channel and I remember you have a video, right?
Right.
Where you have talked about all the important books
Yeah.
for the geology. Yeah, yeah. So those are the very standard books. I don't think I need to repeat them here because they are completely standard books. But again, I would say that don't read books cover to cover, but read syllabus cover to cover.
Right.
Look
Because
at
you
the
should
syllabus
know,
of
yeah,
petrology.
it's like preparing for getting maximum marks, right? Not
Yes,
increasing the knowledge that much.
gaining the knowledge. Yeah, you should read complete book of Philpotts if you want to gain mastery on that subject.
Right.
If you want to become a sedimentary petrologist, then you should read a complete book. But if you want to crack civil services examination or GSI, you have to look into the syllabus and prepare that particular topic from whichever book is required.
Right.
And I think the book list which you have given are completely standard. They are very good
Yeah,
book
provide the
resource.
link in the description here also.
Yes, yes. So I think the viewers can go and watch that video. That is a good video on.
Also, Vaibhav sir, it means we are closing the this talk. So,
Yes.
what do you like
Yeah.
to suggest to the geology students? Like, means as an educator, as an educator.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of geology students, my college juniors, uh, what I've felt is that they feel discouraged by the fact that they do not see a lot of successful geologists either in civil services. So, for example, if you look into mathematics optional or engineering optional or anthropology, political science optional, you will get a lot of toppers. I'm talking about civil services.
Right.
Yeah. But there is hardly any geology topper in past 5-7 years. There was one in 2012. After that, not a single person from geology option has cracked 100. But the reason behind that is for geology optional, you have a good job like GSI, which is equivalent to IAS in position, in grade, in everything. You have PSUs, but for an anthropology optional, for PSIR optional person, they do not have any job, right? Which is equivalent to GSI.
Right.
And so geology optional people get diverted to these geology specific jobs before cracking civil services examinations. And so that is one of the, so people, when they get such a good job in GSI, why would they care for IS, IPS or Indian Forest Service? Because it is equivalent to these jobs.
And also the IFO is the Forest Service. There are a lot of
Forest, that's what I'm
taking
saying.
geology.
Yeah. In Indian Forest Service, a lot of people have opted for geology as their first option.
It's
So I would
the
say
best combination, like geology and forestry.
geology and forestry is a sweet spot because geology is predictable. It has a fixed syllabus which does not changes, and forestry has a very small syllabus.
Right.
So I would say that for all those aspirants who have taken their job geology as an optional, prepare for NET-JRF, crack it, keep it with you because that is valid for 2 years. I guess still it is valid for 2 years,
Yeah.
right? And then utilize this time to crack GSI as well as civil services.
Yeah. If they're
If you spend,
yeah.
yes, because if your option is prepared, you just have to spend some extra time on preparing of
Yeah, because
general
GS getting introduced is like a boon for them. Like they have to anyways read GS. So why not
Yes.
put in some
Yes.
more effort and at least give an attempt?
Correct. So if you target civil services, you can easily crack GSI if your option is prepared.
Right.
Yeah. So I think geology optional people have already had a great future, but now that is being amplified.
Yeah. So geology also I've seen has grown as an optional over the years. Like maybe in future we can see a lot of toppers now coming from this.
Yes. I think you are doing a great job in mentoring students.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
yeah. So just I think students would be helped a lot by being directly mentored by your institution, because I think geology also has a problem that commercial coaching institutes have not are not so well developed as in other subjects.
Right.
And so if they are very small and scattered around the country. So I think your initiative is first initiative which is like taking and contacting students at a country level as well as guiding them since last 6-7 years. And so I think it's a great initiative. Looking forward to more people from your institute.
Of course, yeah. So we'll definitely push the UPSC civil services also, because it is now time that geologists should realize that they can actually achieve. It's not a very means they anyways have to prepare for the GS and all other things. So,
yeah, true.
So thank you very much, Vaibhav sir, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, same here. Thank you.
Thank you.